Hello everyone, my name is Eduardo. I am a data scientist on the Mosqlimate project, and it's a pleasure to be here today to announce the second edition of the Infodengue-Mosqlimate Dengue Challenge, also known as the Sprint. Well, the Sprint is basically a forecasting competition that created to connect researchers from around the world who work on dengue forecasting models to answer the following question. What is the expected number of dengue cases in the next season in each of the federal units of Brazil? This question was motivated by the increase in the number of cases in the country and also by the expansion into new areas. The first edition of this event took place last year. 6 teams participated, and the result bus of our competition was used to draft a technical note that was sent to the Ministry of Health. All the predictions submitted to the Sprint are managed by the Mosqlimate project, for which I'll leave the link here in the description, as well as the link to the Sprint website, where you can find all the information about how to register, the detailed rules, and also the deadlines. It's available at sprintmosqlimate.org. The link will be in the description. Well, now I'm going to quickly go over each of the tabs. Here in the About section, we have some details about how the competition went last year and the results we achieved, which were the technical report and the scientific article that is currently in preprint. Here in the Sprint 2025 section, we have details about this year's challenge. So here you have detailed information about which validation datasets need to be submitted, who the targets are, the data that is available, how these forecasts will be evaluated, and which comparison metrics will be used. And here are the important dates, which I want to highlight in this video. Registration opened on May 15th and will remain open until June 15th. June 30th is the final deadline for submitting the validation predictions. On July 30th, there will be a webinar where the results from the validation session will be presented. So, which are the best models in each region based on the validation data. And May 23rd will be the final deadline for submitting forecasts for next year, 2026. And on October 15th, the ensemble will be presented, which is a model created from all these submitted predictions, combining them all with the goal of finding a better model. Well, to participate in the Sprint, here is the link to the registration form. We also have our forum here, where you can join and submit questions. Basically, the rules to participate in the Sprint are that your model's code must be available in a public GitHub repository. In addition, you must follow our forecast submission format, and you need to submit the required confidence intervals. If you want to use your own dataset, that dataset must be shared with all Sprint participants. And furthermore, to be included in the final results, which will be our technical report, teams must have submitted both their validation and forecast results. Some tutorials and support information can be found at this link. Well, here in the registration tab, we have the link to the form. Here in the instructions tab, we have a summary of what's in the Sprint 2025 tab. So here you have the link to the rules, to the registration, and to the data documentation. And here are some tutorials that were created by the team, by us. So here you have a template on GitHub for your repository where there are examples of how to submit, how to register your model and predictions on the platform using Python or R. Soon we will also have videos on our YouTube channel about how to do this. And here you also have some references. There are recommended reference materials such as the platform documentation, YITONs, and also the documentation for the MOS client package, which was created to make using the platform easier. Here you also have the contact methods, which are via the email mosqlimate@gmail.com or through Discord. Well, here we have a detailed description of the data. The data for the Sprint is stored on an FTP server, and here you have instructions for accessing this data using FileZilla or using web FTP. But if you're used to using another application to access an FTP server, that will work as well. And here we have a description of each of the data sets. So we have the data set of probable dengue cases, which are aggregated by epidemiological week. In addition, we have climate data. sourced from Copernicus. We also have climate forecast data here, which was also obtained from Copernicus, and it provides forecasts up to 6 months ahead. We also have some indicators of ocean temperature levels related to El Niño and La Niña. We also have some categorical variables related to the climate of each municipality and the biome of each Brazilian municipality. We also have population data from 2001 to 2024. In addition, we have here a suggestion of additional data sets that can also be used in the sprint, which are publicly available. Here in our last tab, we have the people who are directly involved in organizing the event. That's it, everyone. I would really like to thank you all for being here. I really hope you participate in the sprint. Bye-bye.